Yes! Finally! Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, just thank you. I'm so happy that Malcolm is gone because, okay, so let me get this off my chest first. I don't hate Malcolm completely, but, what he was doing this season just really made me not like him really anymore because I mean like last season he had almost everything working out for him even though he was working from the bottom of the game the entire game. He gets all the way to day 38 and then just one or two simple mistakes doom it for him. And then this season, he basically pulls a scoop in where he goes from only a couple of mistakes to a heck of a lot of mistakes. Even though you can argue that they aren't technically mistakes, it's just, it seemed like when he was attempting to take control, basically nothing worked the way he expected it to. Now, it could be, it's perfectly possible to argue that there wasn't really that much hope. Well, not really, because, well, he just talked to the wrong people. He admits it in his interview with Dalton Ross. Older women, I just suck at this. Yeah, Lisa and Dawn. Oh, dear. Yeah, but still, though, I have to admit, in a way, I am kind of disappointed because, one, I remember when I did like Malcolm and what he was doing, you know, working for the bottom in both seasons and this time against more people and even more bigger characters because, okay, let's be realistic here, okay? In Philippines, there was a good division between people that were actually trying to take control of the game and then the people who were sort of just there in a way. Even though those people did get more airtime than I think most people in that category did. But this season, just, there was a lot more dynamic people. I mean, like, even though Eric and Brenda on the Favorites Tribe haven't exactly been the greatest, change makers and all of that, they're still very much on everyone's minds, just people aren't talking about them in the edits. Because, like, Eric's secret scenes and all that, he's showing that he's still very much thinking about where he wants to be and all that, because he knows that, he could easily be, portrayed as a challenge dominator, but at the same time, he's in a good position where people aren't considering him to be a threat, but unfortunately, he'd be on the outside of whatever alliance he is on. Now, he can keep this going, because I predict it is certainly possible that he can get to day 37 pretty easily. Whether or not he still goes without his name written down, I don't know. But it's still perfectly possible, because like I said, male on the Favorites Tribe that has the potential to get farther and no one's going to complain. Although, unfortunately, I don't really think he has the greatest shot at winning in this case, because, I feel he only has a shot of winning provided, Reynold, Cochran, and Andrea all go, because if he gets rid of all of those, and then he's in the final three against any combination of Brenda, Sherry, and Eddie, I feel like he'd win, especially if he's against Sherry and Eddie. I don't know, I look forward to seeing what he's going to do, because now there's a lot less people that are overshadowing him. He's getting more highlights along with Brenda, so I'm anxious to see what happens. Okay, so I've gotten, what, 4 minutes into this, and I haven't even gotten to the auction. That's crazy, but, okay, so, auction. I really like this auction, even though there were a couple of dumb bids. But, in a way, I don't mind that, because, you know, it's kind of like Philippines, where Jeff reveals that it was Scuba goes, 500! He's like, okay, that was so funny! Okay, but anyways. Having both an idle clue and an advantage, that's pretty impressive. I think that's the first time since Samoa and the second time overall. So, Malcolm going for the clue, well, given that that was the first, thing, that doesn't really surprise me, and you don't necessarily need an advantage to win the challenge, because there has been one time where someone has had an advantage in the challenge and they haven't won. That was Corinne and Gaboon. But if you have the idol, you could win the challenge anyway. So he goes for the clue, and given that in order to beat him, everyone would have to give every bit of their money, and I think they're thinking about food and advantage, and the fact that they could just probably go around and find the idol anyway, because now finding a hidden ability idol without clues is no longer impressive. Cochrane getting the advantage, that's kind of surprising to me. I mean, like, Reynolds or Eddie, for crying out loud, are you guys not thinking? Just, yeah, I'll talk about them later. So the immunity challenge, it didn't surprise me that Cochrane used his advantage immediately. That's what Jason did. And think about it, they're holding less weight at the beginning, and everyone else gradually has to go down. So that way they stay light for as long as they can, and then it gets heavy, rather than just taking some ease off them, but they've already exhausted some stress. So, wise move, Cochrane. You winning, well, let's be honest, if Eddie had won, that would not really have mattered, because, well, Eddie's not going to win this thing. Out of the 3 amigos, now 2, he's the one that doesn't have a shot. I mean, like, if he wins, I'm going to be so disappointed. Had Malcolm carried it out, I think I would have been a bit disappointed, but I still would have gone. And if Reynolds does it, I think I'd feel the same way, but Reynolds actually deserves it, unlike Eddie. And I'll admit, Reynolds has acted arrogantly. I'll admit. But I like what is happening to him, and come on, it's kind of hard not to act arrogant in some way when you're on a reality show like this, okay? I would fail at that completely. I'm sure I would. Even though I actually won't ever try out for a reality show, nobody would want me. Malcolm not finding the idol, I gotta admit that that was pretty funny with Andrea shadowing him, although I actually learned from Malcolm's interview with Dalton Ross that he was actually looking for a good amount of time, just he couldn't find it. And then Andrea shows up, and at that point he's just like, okay, let's see if I can just spook them out, because I've looked for so long that it's practically a given that I won't find this. There's just a point where I can just give up. At Tribal Council, I thought that they did have either Sherry or Eric swayed over, because I predicted that Sherry was likely to jump over, and it appeared like she was, and I also predicted that Eric would strongly consider his position and try and, well, shake things up, because, like I said last time, he is better off staying with Stealth or Us. However, he needs to get rid of somehow a member from that alliance before the amigos go, just so something else happens, because eventually he probably would be considered the Dominator. But when the votes came out, I was really shocked that it was the free tie. I so would have expected someone to flip, but once they did, I was just like, bye, Malcolm. And that's exactly what happened. I've already summarized my thoughts on Malcolm. So, what happens next week? Well, Reynolds in a fight to stay alive in the game, but honestly, if he wins immunity, I'm not that concerned about it, because for 2 reasons. One, I'm willing to bet the next episode will be the double boot episode that needs to happen, because if you look at Samoa and HVV, that's what they did. They had a tribal day 30, 31, 33, 36, 37, 38. There we go. That solves the one person more problem. And 2, like I said, I like what Reynolds is doing more than Eddie and Sherry. So if he gets through next episode, May 1st, I'm not going to complain. If he gets through May 8th, then I'm going to complain, even though I do like his fight to stay alive. So now I'm going back to anti-fans, because I know one of them is going to go next episode. But if Stealth Horus breaks down, honestly, that'd be interesting to see at this point, because most of the opposition doesn't have that great of a shot. So, anything can happen at this point, and I'd be anxious to see what happens, even though I would love for the 5 favorites to stay together and just lose those fans. But you know what? I'm willing to accept, a favorite going, although I will be disappointed if one does, because I like all 5 of these people, even though Brenda hasn't done that much, but, you know, I think she has been doing pretty close to what she did do last time, but here's the difference. She's not in charge of a block that has multiple divisions within that block. She's just a member of the block with multiple divisions. That's really the only difference in her gameplay. And except for the fact, because of that, she isn't a major character. Which is disappointing, but that happens with every All-Star season, because let's use HVV as an example. People who were major characters in the first season, that was every single person except possibly Candace, okay? You go over to HVV, Courtney, Sandra, Candace, and Jerry for a bit were supporting characters, although Jerry is kind of like that, where she goes from supporting to major and then she does what she does. Okay. Okay, I think I've taken up enough of your guys' time. I've said basically all I want to, so another good episode. The biggest threat to Stealth for Us is gone, but if Stealth for Us were to fracture at this point, I won't completely mind anymore. And I'm eagerly looking forward to see what these next 2 episodes and the finale hold for us.